Welcome back, Nero Diviner channel here. So today I try to be quick, but I want to discuss with you something I take care a lot, and this is back in time, 5 years ago, after 10 years with Canon, I decided to switch to another brand and to leave the DSLR. Was the 5D Mark II for many different reasons, especially because I've been 1 month in New Zealand, and to carry on that amount of gear was a little bit tricky to me. It was heavy, the size was big, so I decided to switch to mirrorless system, especially because I also do a lot of street photography. So I spent many nights back in time 5 years ago to decide which one was better for me. I seen a lot of comparison, and in March 2018 I left Canon and I switched to Fujifilm. I still use Fujifilm, as you can see here, and is a system that I love a lot. But my inside war was between Fuji and Sony, of course. And recently I got the opportunity to try a Sony. This is the A7 IV. Well, after a while now, I can tell you those systems cannot be compared. Of course, this is my personal opinion, but I got a few points here I want to discuss with you. Not so much. I'm not gonna be too much technical, because I like to be very easy, and so everyone can understand, especially because my English is not the best. Sorry, I'm Italian and my English is still a little bit broken. Anyway, the first thing I want to discuss with you, of course, is the size. Both of these cameras, as you can see here, have different size, but at the end of the day, the configuration is exactly the same. This is a 50mm 1.4 and this is a 33mm 1.4. The size is absolutely, you can clearly see with your eyes, this is 1.5 bigger than this one. This size comparison is gonna jump to the sensor discussion, and I'm not gonna make a war full frame versus APS-C, which one is better. No, at all. They do totally different things, and this is why I think it's useless to compare those two systems. Probably you know Fujifilm doesn't do full frame, so they decide to create a specific kind of camera based on APS-C system, which means we are gonna have a crop sensor, a crop factor sensor. So means with Fujifilm, with APS-C, you can get probably the picture will be a little bit sharp, and the focal length needs to be different. So this is a 33, this is a 50. I mean, if we are talking about the final composition, probably you're gonna see the same, but this is still a 33mm build, and this is still a 50mm build. So it's quite difficult to compare. When we are going to, I'm gonna read you here, on the point of convergence in the middle of the lens to go through the sensor, because the size of the sensor is different. This is more or less double of an APS-C sensor. We are gonna have a different separation between subject and background. It's quite obvious with the full frame. You're gonna have more creamy bokeh, more blending bokeh, more smooth background, more soft, and the separation is bigger. It's more consistent, no? So they do different things, and I'm not telling you which one is better than the other. I have here two prints that I'm gonna show you right now. Sorry, I'm gonna wear the glove print because in terms of quality and the final image result, from my opinion, there is no too much difference. I mean, can you tell which one, what picture is take with camera? Is this or this took with a Sony, and this or this took with a Fujifilm? I'm not gonna give you the answer, but I'm gonna show you better what happened here. And the same thing what happened here. Sorry, this is okay. Full frame sensor can handle a little bit better low light condition, and this is a fact. It's not something strange. Now, of course, even some cameras like the X-T5 I have right here can handle very good a low light condition, but the sensor is different. Also, Sony make the sensor for Fujifilm, though, so I don't think Sony is gonna make some competitor better than himself. So another thing I want to discuss with you is the autofocus. Well, in this point there is no question. Sony at the moment, I think, got the best autofocus ever. No one can compare with Sony autofocus, and you can track everything. You just need to put your finger in any point of the screen or decide to track anything, and you're gonna track that forever. But apart this particular case, I think today every camera can track eye and human. So again, in this particular case, well, Sony got the best autofocus ever, but Fujifilm is not worse than this. The last thing I want to talk about you is the firmware. When I update the X-T5, the firmware was about 110 megabyte. When I update the Sony, it was 900 megabytes. So if this firmware is almost 1 gigabyte and it's 9 times bigger than this, you can clearly see the technology is totally different. And this is the main point. I think you cannot compare those two systems. By the way, just a few little things. This is, at the moment, is the Fujifilm X-T5. It came out with the X8 II and the H2S. Those are the top line of Fujifilm, and this is an A7 IV, which means this is the entry level of the Alpha system in Sony. So in case you want to make a comparison, I think it's better take the X-T5 versus the A Alpha 1, because probably you know there is A7, A9, A1. And because this is the top line of Fujifilm, you should compare the best of the best. So again, this is what I think, but they do completely different thing. If you ask me what's the real difference between those two, I'm gonna say you are the difference, because what do you need? What is your focus when you take pictures? For example, are you a street photographer, a travel photographer? Then no question, go with Fuji. I have been in Budapest last month, and I carry on this small bag because I got a little bit of problem with the carry-on luggage size. So what I did, I took my X-T4 and an X-T5. As you can see here, sorry, I don't wanna. Right, so I got the X-T4 with the lens, which is the camera is recording right now. X-T5, another extra lens, the Pancake 27 Fuji, battery charger, and on top of here, I got space for another extra batteries, extra SD card, extra cable, extra charger, many different things. And I think the same amount of gear, no way I can carry on with Sony. Listen, look, I don't know even if I can close now the zip here. So this is why I'm gonna use both of system, and I think they do very different things, but the quality at the end of the day it's actually the same. So for street photography, if you want to be discreet, if you want to be fast, light, if you want to travel and bring with you more gear than you actually think, or the most gear is possible for you, even in a small bag, go with Fuji, no question. If sometime I like to do shooting with some models in low light condition, especially in the night, in the winter. Now it's just finished because it's January. It's just finished the Christmas time, so many different lights, trees, the normal Christmas stuff. Well, I shoot a lot with Sony because I like the creamy bokeh, the good separation between the subject and the background. So I like to be, even in a low light condition, this is not gonna miss a shoot. Basically, I remember I came back one day with 300 shoot, probably I missed twice. So basically 99.99% of the shoot with the Sony, it's perfect because of the autofocus, tracking eye, human subject, automatically, everything. So again, but I made years shooting with Fujifilm and I didn't have any other issue. So the only thing I want to tell with you, from my honest personal opinion, is they are completely different, and from my point of view there is no way you can compare those two systems, right? I think I already talked too much, so see you next time. Oh, let me know in the comment if you get experience, because last things, I can understand carry on to system, it could be expensive, and of course maybe you want to choose just one, as I did for ages. When I tried to use this Sony, it was actually a kind of opportunity, but when I try this Sony, because I want to leave the last dub that I got, when I start to use Sony and Fuji together, and I can clearly see they are completely different, and I use Fujifilm for something and Sony for something else, and I think there is no problem about this. I can understand it's two system and it means make money. I trade in something else to have some more gear for Sony, I know that, but it's a little sacrifice because I think I have to use both of system for many different things, because if you want to be professional, probably everyone got more than one body, and at this point more than one system. Now already talked too much. See you next time. Let me know in the comment what you think, and I'm really open to hear your point of view and start a discussion with you about it. Ciao!